The Seduction Syra Siema. You come to me to walk on a riverbank. It's a full moon night, and you are mine. You just come and escort me to a party of fairies. No matter what you say, just utter the melody of love. These gentle, cool breezes steal your scent to bring it to me. You come to me. This cloud broke like a chain to bind our hearts as one. There are drops of rain, and you come to me. You come and heal me, let yourself please me. You come and have me in your tight grip. The loneliness out there asks me to call you. You come and breathe in me. You just come and own me, Syra, Naz. It was a cold winter night. Although the moon was going through the process of growth, the shadow of the fog in the sky had completely covered it and cast a veil on the surroundings. The whole area was silent at that time, and there was a horror scattered in the air. The darkness of the night, the desolate streets, the sound of a dog barking somewhere, the occasional gust of cold wind, the rustle of dry leaves from the movement of a stray animal, and the horrible sight of the cemetery adjacent to this area had created a terrifying atmosphere on the whole. Ignorant of all these frightening features, that being, dressed in a simple black hood, had just parked the car in a quiet and dark street and came out when a strong gust of wind touched his entire being. Ryan's lips turned back into a bitter smile for a moment. Even in such a cold, he felt a warmth embedded in his being, as if his body was burning. The red eyes peeking out from his hood changed the angle for a while only and turned back in the next moment. How many times have I asked you to stop following me? You would get nothing from me, he uttered coldly. Then he gave a shock to his hood, and a black smoke immediately came out of it, as if a tornado had blown up by touching the old couch in a deserted house. The black smoke swirled around him now, but he ignored it and did not stop his steps forward. Whoa! He was a few yards away from his desired door when a wolf-like animal appeared before him, uttering the terror of its voice. In the meantime, that swirling smoke confronted him to let him quickly disappear into the darkness, uttering terrifying sounds. I just want to sleep right now, so don't follow me. On seeing the whirling smog dissolving in the air to change the shape of a human, he thought it necessary to knock it out before opening the dilapidated door of a medium-sized house. Ha ha ha, snip, so I come ahead of you. With his warning, the sound of a sweet laugh hit his ears and the ringing of someone's anklets echoed in the air as if someone had passed by him with running steps. In the next moment, a beautiful girl appeared in the corridor, she said smilingly, and ran inside. A strange melody was scattered in the atmosphere by the beats of her anklets, tearing the silence over the atmosphere. The howl of a wolf, the melodious laugh of a beauty, the shrill of someone's ankles. The very few residents of this area were used to all these sounds, so they all stayed in their beds without any effect. Aren't you going to eat? He came straight to the kitchen and started drinking water. When the same feminine voice came from right next to him, he just shook his head in denial. You don't take care of yourself at all. He felt a rustling in his side, as if someone had risen from beside him and come in front of him. In the thousandth of a second, with a mild complaint, he saw a very beautiful girl appearing in front of him. The shape and appearance of the waxy figure, moulded in a frame, was so appealing that it seemed as if it would become filthy, even if touched by someone's hand. There was such a brightness in his big, glassy grey eyes that it dazzled the eyes of the beholders. Her body features were tempting enough to put an ascetic in a dilemma even once, but the eyes of the person in front of her did not even show a glimmer of praise. It seemed from his impassive face that he was used to such scenes and did not react. He stood up with an empty glass of water on the table. As he reached the kitchen door, he heard the sound of running water behind him. He turned slightly sideways, and saw his used glass hanging in the air above the basin, as if someone was washing it. He shook his head and went to his room without any reaction. As soon as he reached the room, another provocative scene was waiting for him. On his bed, the same damsel was lying in a very elegant dress. Her gestures were signalling some sensual appeals, but he didn't notice it. He glanced at it and moved towards the small wooden cupboard. "You know that I am not used to repeating myself. Don't follow me." As he walked towards the bathroom door, he felt the rustling behind him again. This time he warned her in a little sharper tone. "And those who are inside?" she questioned rudely. "The method of protection from them has been taught me.